22. It's Austria-Hungary's turn, and they have 28 IPC to spend and have elected to purchase a fighter, poison gas artillery, cruiser, and 2 infantry. And just so you know, the poison gas artillery 6 IPC, of course fighter 6, cruisers 9, and 3 each for the infantry. Okay, and then moving over to the game map, as far as movements, in particular combat, we're going to engage forces from Galicia over into Romania, and then also our forces that are in Serbia are going to make another attack in the south of Romania. So we're going to have a 2-pronged attack into Romania to see if we can not only take over the country and also expel those Russian troops. And then finally, we're going to make a push into Italy from both Trieste as well as Tyrolia, and we'll go ahead and get these placed on the battle board. And of course we'll make a few other movements as well, but we'll go ahead and do the combat first. Be right back. All right, got our units on the battle board. This will be the attack into Romania, and just so you know, we moved in all of the Austro-Hungarian forces from Serbia, and then we moved in 6 infantry as well from Galicia and 4 artillery, which give us a total of 5. So we're going to be attacking first with and of course we've promoted 5 infantry with artillery support. So we've got 9 attacking infantry at 2 or less. Okay. Okay, here we are in the corner. We got 1, 2, and that's it. Not a good opening for Austria-Hungary. All right, and now we're going to do 5 infantry with artillery support, 3 or less, and looks like we got one only as well. All right, and then 5 artillery, 3 or less, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got 6 total hits. Now the defense of the Russian army in Romania. Again, we've got a combo of Russian and Romanian troops. So we've got 5, 10, we've got 12 infantry that's defending at 3 or less. And actually, before we do that, let me go ahead and take off the casualties. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll take the stack of Romanians off first. Okay, that's the casualties. All right, so we've got 12 total infantry at 3 or less defending. We'll do 6. 3 or less. There's 1, 2, 3. Looks like we got 3 hits. Okay, and then we will do the other 6 infantry, 3 or less. Looks like they got 1. And then finally we've got 1 defending artillery, 3 or less. And missed. Well, that just ended up in a big fat stalemate. All right, so this round of combat is complete, and we'll go ahead and transfer these back to Romania, as it'll remain contested, and then we'll get the next participants on the battle board. All right, we got the forces that are attacking Venice, into Venice, and we've got all the Austro-Hungarian forces from Tyrolia, Trieste, with the exception of the machine gun unit that I had placed in Trieste. Again, that's for a defensive position only. It's machine guns cannot attack. All right, let's get on it. We've got 7 artillery, 7 infantry, which have been promoted, and the remainder, 2 or less, is 11 infantry, and we will go ahead and roll for those now. Okay. 1. Okay, we got 4 opening hits. Okay, and then we'll do the 7 infantry, 3 or less. Looks like there's 2. That was a 3. I just flipped it over. There's another. Okay. And then we've got 7 infantry, or I'm sorry, artillery. We'll go ahead and roll. And this is also 3 or less. All right, that's got it. So it looks like we've got a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hits on the opening. Not bad. All right, so we got 10. We'll remove the casualties for Italy. That is 5, 10. Okay, so Italy's got 13 infantry that are defending, 3 or less. And we'll go ahead and roll for all infantry. Okay. 3 or less. It looks like it. So it looks like we got 5 hits total. And Italy also has 4 defending artillery units as well. And they got 2 hits. All right. So we got 7 hits total on Austria-Hungary. So here we got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right, we will take these out. And this territory of Venice is going to remain contested. And so we're going to go ahead and make a few movement troops out of Vienna, and we'll adjust the income, place our new units. Be right back. All right, so the battle's over, and we've got the little yellow target marker flipped over. Italy, of course, will drop down with IPC value. And of course, as did Serbia earlier. So here's what we're looking at. Russia is down to 22. Italy's down to 12. Again, because these areas are contested as well. And then, of course, Russia, who's coming up next, they've got the area of Poland that was contested. So that's the end of Austria-Hungary. There's the pieces that were mobilized, and then we did move the infantry, 1 artillery over to Galicia, and that'll be the moves in combat for Austria-Hungary. All right, round 2, Russia. Russia has 28 IPC from the first round that they have to spend, and so they've elected to go ahead and purchase 6 regular artillery. And that'll be 24 IPC, and then 1 infantry, and that'll give them $1 left over for the following round. And then it doesn't look like Russia is in a position to continue the combat in Romania. They're substantially weaker. And then attacking to continue the fight, they're going to be at a disadvantage because the defending infantry for Austria-Hungary are going to defend at a 3 or less. So I'm not comfortable moving forces from Ukraine south to Romania, because then that leaves Ukraine almost wide open, even though I can move just a select few troops there. But then we've got the Austria-Hungary force, and that's a blue chip under the infantry in the middle. We don't want to substantially weaken the Ukraine, so and then the contested Poland. I think what is going to be more advisable this round is just simply a firming up of Russian lines, and I'm going to go ahead and make all of these moves, and we'll get the mobilized units on the map in Moscow, and we'll see what the map looks like at this stage. All right, final moves are made for Russia. As you see, we basically moved all of our forces forward, including in Poland. Again, Russia's not going to advance any combat in Poland. They just bolstered their forces that remain contested. Of course, we've now got a machine gun unit in the defense. So when Germany, should they continue the attack next round, they're going to have to face a machine gun. We've increased our number of artillery to 5, looks like, and I believe there's 16 infantry. And again, we've pushed forward all lines. Ukraine, we made the decision to go ahead and pull out of Romania just due to the weakness of the forces, and then we consolidated into Ukraine by also moving a machine gun unit up to bolster the defense, as well as a fighter. And then over here in Sevastopol, we did move the one Romanian artillery that was left. Again, that's aligned with Russia. We moved that into Sevastopol. And then the forces in Kazakhstan, I had an initial idea, but due to changes on the map, we've returned those back to Tatarstan, and then placed our units into Moscow. And that'll be it. And it is now time for Germany. All right, round 2, Germany. Germany has 39 IPC to spend this round, and they have decided on 2 poison gas artillery. That's 6 IPC each. And then we've got 6 regular artillery, 4 IPC each. And then we've got 3 left over, and we'll obtain an infantry. And now let's take a look at the map. All right, movement for Germany. We are going to hobble along our damaged battleship 2 spaces back to C-Zone 11. And I'm thinking, since it was not in a C-Zone with my own naval base, I don't think that I can actually get that repaired. I'm going to have to actually check the book on that. If I get it wrong, somebody let me know in the comments, if you would, please. But I don't think that I can actually get that repaired this round. So we'll deal with that later. Okay, Germany, as you see with the target marker, they're going to launch a 2-prong attack into Belgium, where the French are. We're going to move our forces in from Holland, as well as the province of the Ruhr. We're going to move in there, and then actually we're going to also move 1 artillery, to bolster that force as well. Change this out so it doesn't get mixed up. There we go. And so this will be the force that's attacking Belgium. As you see, we've got 3 territories that border Belgium. And then, as far as other movements go, Germany is overpowered right now in Poland. That's quite obvious in looking at the defense line. But we're going to try to balance that out. We're moving one space machine gun unit as well into our lines. Okay, there we go. And our truck that we had purchased last round, we're going to load it up. And this one, as you recall, can tow one artillery, which we're going to do, tow one artillery, and then we're going to load with one infantry. So one infantry, one artillery, and we're going to go 2 spaces as per the house rule. So we'll go ahead and add this infantry unit to the stack. Okay, and then also the artillery as well. And again, we're not going to do any combat in Poland this round. It's just become a standoff, looks like. We'll go ahead and do the other movements while we're here as well. Got the German machine gun unit is going to come down to Hanover, followed by we've got 13 units are going to, again with this connector, we're going to move into Holland, and they will bolster the empty province since the other forces are going into Belgium, along with the artillery. Those will all be into Holland once the combat's complete. And then the remaining infantry in Berlin is going to go to Prussia. And then the 2 artillery as well will also head to Prussia. And now off to Africa. And on our way to Africa, we've got the 2 German submarines that were left in C-Zone 22, and we're going to move these 2 spaces to C-Zone 24, and both of those are going to join up with the cruiser, the Königsberg. So now we've got a little bit of punch there in C-Zone 24. The 1 unit in Nigeria is going to Cameroon, and then the other Schutz Trooper unit in Belgian Congo is going to go to neighboring German East Africa to help bolster the forces there. And looks like we're getting a little bit of a standoff there as well in East Africa, both British and German East Africa. And then again, the forces in South Africa will remain for now. That'll be all the movements. So let's get the pieces on the battle board and get it on. All right, we got the German forces into Belgium. So we've got 8 attacking artillery, and thus we've promoted 8 infantry with artillery support, and then we've got 7 remaining attacking infantry at 2. So let's go ahead and do the infantry attacking at 2 or less. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Good opening. Okay, and then we'll move to the infantry with artillery support. Again, 8 of those. And that's a 3 or less. Okay. Nice. All right. And then finally, 8 artillery. And that's 3 or less as well. Got 2 there. 1, another, and another. Nice opening for Germany. So it looks like we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 hits on the opening. All right. So casualty-wise, well, before I do that, I should have mentioned earlier, France has air supremacy by nature of the fighter in the air. So their artillery were advanced because of that up to a 4 or less. Okay. All right. So now we've got 14 casualties that we need to take. It may actually, I think we overkilled it. Hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. And then 13 with the fighter. So yeah, Germany knocked them out first round. Nice. All right. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do our rolls for France. We'll go ahead and do the fighter first. We're going to strafe 2 or less. Missed. Okay. And then we will do, we've got 3 artillery at a 4 or less. And looks like actually just got 1 there. Unfortunate die rolls for France. Take this one off. And then let's see, what did I say earlier? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 infantry at 3 or less. 8, 9, okay. Let's get these out. All right, here we go. 9 infantry, 3 or less. Looks like we got 1 hit there. 2, 3. 3. Man, France was pretty bad that round. All right, so we'll take 3 more infantry casualties from Germany, and that will be the end of that combat. And Germany has now captured Belgium. Okay, so we will go ahead and make the adjustments. Move in just the IPC tracker, and we will go ahead and place new units, and be right back. Germany's round is complete, and you see they have advanced on the IPC tracker to 41, and France is down to 24. So just to kind of scan over the board there again, you'll see that the German troops are firmly implanted in Belgium and have a fairly decent force. So I think France has got some issues coming up. And then just scanning over to Africa real quick. Again, we've got the German force in C-Zone 24. Kind of curious what's going to happen there. And then we've got the powder keg that inevitably is going to happen in British and German East Africa. So we'll certainly stay tuned for that, folks. All right, on to France. All right, France is up. Again, they're down to 24 IPC. However, they did have 26 IPC at the beginning of this round, in round 2. And France has elected to spend every single IPC. It's looking rough in France right now. So we're going to get 2 machine gun units, 4 IPC each for 8, and then 6 infantry for 18. And that'll take care of their 26 IPC. 2 machine gun units, given the situation in France right now, is going to help them out defensively, because they are definitely on the defensive after the attack in Belgium. They're hoping Britain's going to get into the war. So we're going to go ahead and make some movements, and we'll place these on the board and be right back. All right, France has got to bolster their lines up real quick. We're going to move 2 infantry, artillery into Picardy, followed by 6 more infantry, and that will be followed by as well, actually all. You've got to bolster these lines, and I'll clean that up after this is over. So we're going to move all of those. Now I'll take that back. We're going to move 1 up to Burgundy, along with the along with the ambulance. And then we got a flotilla of French ships out here. We're going to move both battleships from Sea Zone 7 over to Sea Zone 9 to help bolster the forces in Great Britain and to thwart any German attempt to come back, which is unlikely at this point. And then the cruiser as well. Let's see. Well, the transports, we're going to put these over in Sea Zone 8. So we've got 3 French transports, Sea Zone 8, and then the other cruiser left over, we're going to go down to Sea Zone 22 and perhaps block any attempt if the Germans should decide that they want to come back. At least they've got a cruiser waiting for them in the west coast of Africa. And I think that's just going to be all the movements. I'm going to go ahead and place French units on the board, and we will firm up their money, and that'll be the end of France, at least this round. All right, round 2, Britain. Britain started off with 33 IPC. Of course, as you recall, they had actually made it to 31 IPC, but they had 2 left over from round 1. And we maximized every IPC unit. Britain is going to purchase 1 poison gas artillery unit, and that's a 6 IPC, 2 transports, 6 each, and then 5 infantry, 15 for a total of 33 IPC. And we're going to go ahead and get these mobilized. Britain is not going to make any combat moves, but we're just going to move and transport some ships, transport some infantry over to France. Be right back. All right, real quick, Britain began this round. They already had 2 existing transport ships already in the water, so they loaded up. Both Scotland and Yorkshire had 1 infantry each. Loaded those up on the boat, dropped those off over here in Picardy, along with 2 artillery that was in London. So now the Brits are finally in mainland Europe to help out. And then of course we've went ahead and placed the 2 additional transports we purchased. So now Britain has a total of 4 transports to work from. The transport setting in Sea Zone 2 picked up 2 infantry out of Canada, and they are heading across to Europe. The cruiser that was also in Sea Zone 2 has went down to join the French cruiser in Sea Zone 22, again to counter the German flotilla that just keeps floating around. And that is it for Europe. Then we'll move and show the places over in India. All right, in India, Got a pretty substantial force now. We've got, we had the 5 infantry we purchased. One was already here, if you recall. Now we've got a total of 6 infantry. We placed the poison gas artillery unit as well. Now we also have a machine gun unit, so this will definitely be the offensive unit here, the poison gas. And then we've got our forces up in Afghanistan. So maybe want to look out, Persia. All right, and then lastly, as far as other movement we made, the 1 infantry unit in Rhodesia went down to join the forces in the Union of South Africa, and that is it. Again, Britain is still at 31 IPC. Now on to the Ottomans. All right, the Ottomans are holding steady at 18 IPC. Of course, they have the same amount to spend this round. And what the Ottomans are going to purchase this round is a machine gun infantry unit for 4 IPC, 2 regular infantry units, 3 each. And they are going to refurbish an old German submarine that was lent to them. And that is going to cost us 6 IPC, so that's a total of 16 IPC. They'll have 2 left over for the next round. And we'll go to the map. All right, the Ottomans are going to make 2 attacks this round. They're going to see what they can do in Transjordan, see if they can expel the Brits. So the forces in Smyrna are going to send 6 infantry, 3 artillery, and actually we're going to make that 4 artillery, 1 from the Syrian desert, and then let's see, we're going to split this up. Sorry, I'm thinking in my head. All right, so the 6 infantry in the Syrian desert, we're going to send 3 more infantry. Oops, off camera. And we'll send 3 infantry into Arabia to see if we can take advantage of the, well, not take advantage of the troops, liquidate them. And the 1 artillery unit from Mesopotamia is also coming in to see if we can take Arabia. And let's see here. Fighter plane is also coming in to Transjordan. And as far as additional movements go, the Ottoman forces in Bulgaria, we're going to move 6 units into Romania of infantry. And the remainder, which consists of the Bulgarian units, is going to move 1 space in Serbia, along with their artillery unit. Of course, still under the Ottoman control, obviously. And I think that'll be it. So let's get these to the battle board. All right, we're on the battle board. This is the Ottoman force moving into Transjordan. And as you'll see in this, we've got air superiority. So that advances attacking artillery, or 4 attacking artillery, to 4. And then, since we've got artillery support, that also advances 4 of our infantry to 3 or less. And then we've got the remaining 5 infantry, 2 or less. So let's go ahead and do the 2 or less infantry. And there's 1, 2. Okay. While I'm thinking about it, we're going to strafe with a fighter, 2 or less. That was a miss. Okay, and we've got 4 infantry at 3 or less. There's another hit. And then finally, 4 infantry, 4 artillery, 4 or less. And there's 2, 3 hits. Okay, so we got a total of 6 hits. And that's it. That'll take care of it. So we're going to brace for our return fire. We've got, let's see, 6 all at 3 or less for the Brits. We'll see if they can take out any of our forces. Okay, there's 2 more. Not a bad return, but sad thing is Britain just lost Transjordan. All right, so we'll go ahead and make the changes on the map. And the other battle, since it was a small one, I went ahead and took care of that off camera. We lost 1 infantry in the attack, and of course took out the 2 units in Arabia. And we've taken that over and adjusted the IPC chart as well. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll position the pieces on the map. All right, you'll see we've got, of course, the pieces here in Arabia, and got all of our pieces now firmly in control of Transjordan, just as the way it was in round 1. So looks like the Ottomans have a fairly decent force breathing down Egypt right now. And again, gamer's choice. I technically should have moved these earlier, but the machine gun unit and the 2 infantry that was in Constantinople, we went ahead and moved those 1 space to Ankara. And the 1 unit that was in Ankara, we went ahead and moved him to Mesopotamia. And then we placed new units, the new machine gun unit, 2 infantry, and submarine. So we now have 3 ships in C-Zone 20 for the Ottomans. And looking pretty good so far. We'll see how things develop. Now on with Italy. All right, we are now at Italy's turn, 2nd round. And they have been reduced to 12 IPC. It's getting slim, very slim for Italy. Of course, they did have some leftover cash from the previous round, so they have 15 IPC to work from this round, and they basically can only get 4 units, 3 artillery, that'll be 12 IPC, and then 1 more infantry, 3 IPC, and that'll give us 15. So that's it. Italy is almost like going to the cupboard when you're really hungry and find out you only got a half a pack of crackers. That's kind of where we are with Italy right now. So let's head to the map. All right, we're going to make movements for Italy. Of course, as you know, we've got the contested territory in Venice, and I just I've got to bolster the force up there. I can't, in good conscience with Italy, go ahead and attack with what I've got in that province. So what we've done, we've loaded 2 regular infantry in Rome, put them on the transported them in the same sea zone down to Egypt, which will now make for 3 infantry, 1 artillery. In essence, maybe trying to do something with the impending Ottomans. So yeah, they're trying to do Britain a solid, but I don't I don't think it's going to work. But nevertheless, putting up some resistance. All right, and then we're going to keep the Italian guy here in British East Africa, and then we're going around the map, get a better eye view of what we've got to deal with here in Italy. Okay, like I said, we're going to shift forces once again, and I will likely I'll clean this up off camera, but we're going to put these 4 infantry into Venice. This one was in Rome. These 2 artillery units is also going to Venice, and we're going to move a fighter into Venice as well. Okay. Machine gun unit will go to Tuscany. One move. As will the 1 infantry unit in Rome. And we're going to keep 1 unit in Rome as well. Friends, I believe that's it. That's it for all the movements of Italy right now. Like I said, I'm going to clean that mess up, organize it a little better. But I believe that is it for Italy. They've got a meager amount on the IPC chart. They're actually they're less than anybody right now, so it's looking rough for Italy. All right, we're going to go on to the U.S. and we're going to finish round 2 up. All right, we're at the end of round 2. This is the U.S.'s turn. And the U.S. is at 20 IPC. Same with the Ottomans right now. And they had 2 left over from round 1. So a total of 22 IPC to spend. So naturally, the U.S. is going to get 2 more transports. They're going to buy a truck for 4 IPC. Then they're also going to get a hefty offensive weapon, poison gas artillery, so they can at some point when they're ready to get in the fight. And that's 22 IPC total. So that worked out great. So let's head to the map. All right, before we place our units for the U.S., I just want to show you I did clean up there in Italy, and got all that mess cleaned up in Venice. So everything's good to go there. All right, so the pieces that we have purchased, and again, this is kind of gives an idea of what the U.S. has right now. It's not a lot, but at the appropriate time, they will be sending their forces to Europe. So we're going to go ahead and place 2 more transports right off of Washington. And now that gives us 5 transports. So that's plenty to move what we've already got in place. And we're going to go ahead and put our truck down. That truck, as you know, will come in handy of moving 2 spaces, an artillery unit as well as an infantry unit. And that artillery unit also includes poison gas because it is a artillery unit. So that's what we're looking like in the U.S. right now. We're slowly building up, just needing to get into the fight. No movements for the U.S. obviously. And you know, as a just in closing, in strategy, the use of poison gas, again, this is an offensive weapon. So the ideal weapon for the U.S. to transport over would be poison gas artillery, because as you're going to see soon, getting into it, each hit takes 2 casualties, and so that would be a good option for the U.S. as opposed to, say, machine guns. Machine guns, as you may have already noticed in the game, are being utilized to help bolster defense, like we've got there in Italy. Of course, last time, just to kind of summarize, France bought 2 machine gun units because they're needing to bolster their defense. Same with the Ottomans, as well as the the massive units in Poland that is going to have to give at some point. It's like a dam ready to blow. So we'll see what happens in round 3, guys. This is it for round 2. This is Plastic Commando, over and out.